the most fun-loving guy I have ever met. And he knows how to enjoy life, and he knows how to induce that in others, which he certainly did with me.
In 2016, I had the opportunity to do the daily questions with him, where we became accountability buddies and got to know what each other was working on, what's most important, practice humility, discipline, courage along the way.
Those daily questions, I've been doing those for a very long time, and the simplicity of just, did I do my best today, has just really impacted me. I've been doing those nearly daily since 2007.
We hardly know each other. Why would you so readily agree to do something like that for me? And you said, Chester, there's two kinds of people in the world. Those that compete with everybody else and those that look to lift up everyone else. And I am of the latter, and it's a better way to live.
I was struck from the first by how generous he is, how enthusiastic, and how much he loves sharing his connections, which are broad and deep. He has a passion, a real passion, for helping people to become more successful versions of themselves. He is also a blast to spend time with.
Happy Thanksgiving, Marshall.
Hello, my name is Frank Wagner, and I'm here to give some holiday wishes to Marshall Goldsmith.
My name is Dean Miles, and I'm grateful for this opportunity to talk about how I met Marshall and the impact that he's had on me.
Marshall has shaped my own path through life in many different ways. The first, most obvious one is all the people I have met through Marshall. I noted how generous he is in sharing connections, and he vastly expanded my personal and professional networks. As a result, I say today that, and I really figured this out, that probably the majority of people I know, especially in a professional context, I know through Marshall. What a gift.
After I sold my company in 2014 and I was searching around for what was next, being part of your network introduced me to coaching, and that has now become my life's work. And so I want to thank you for that.
Marshall's had a tremendous impact on my life. I first met Marshall way back in 2008 when What Got You Here Won't Get You There first came out.
I remember when we met. I was presenting at a little conference, so were you, and so was Dave Ulrich. And Dave said to me, there's a guy you should meet. His name is Marshall Goldsmith.
July 17, 2017. What got you here won't get you there.
Well, I first met him in September, probably last 2/3 of September in 1972. And it was the first day of the PhD program that we both started in the business school at UCLA.
I first met Marshall in 1995 when he and I were both presenting at a Drucker Foundation conference in San Diego.
I met Marshall 20 years ago when I was working on my PhD.
I think like many of us, I first met him through his books. What Got You Here Won't Get You There, Mojo, Triggers. Then I had a chance to actually meet him in real life in Boston, and I was not disappointed.
And I've known him and been a good friend of him ever since.
He invited me to join the Learning Network, which was a small group of leadership professionals he was just then putting together. The group went on to meet every January for the next 25 years.
I attended one of Marshall's Feed Forward workshops here in New York, and afterwards, myself and some colleagues went up to talk to him for a minute, and he ended up talking to us for 90 minutes, and we had to get back to work. So Marshall is always so generous with his time and sharing the wisdom of his experience with others, including myself.
His laughter is something I think about all the time. And then I got to understand his love for music and just the emotions that draws out of him.
That time he had come to our school to give a leadership talk that ended with a talk to just the females. Afterwards, the women left the room, the men came in, they sat down, and they waited, and they waited, and they did not get a talk for the men's from Marshall that day.
You said, "Hey, Chester, I've got a book launch in New York and you live close. Why don't you come and meet some of my friends?" I was so gracious, right? So I went and I brought my wife Heidi, and it was great fun and met all kinds of interesting people. And then I asked you just out of the blue, and we didn't know each other very well. I said, "Marshall, my co-author Adrian Gostick and I were writing a book, and we were wondering if you would blurb the book for us." And you said, "Absolutely. I would be honored to do it."
Marshall, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. You have had a profound influence on me and my life, and not only your work, but being able to be part of this community.
We were getting PhDs. We both decided we were going to be college professors. We both got a job at Loyola Marymount University in the business school, and we shared an office as assistant professors of management. My plans were I was going to do that for my career. Well, Marshall, after a number of years, left, and he went down to San Diego, is working with Paul Hersey at the Center for Leadership Studies. And it took him a while, but his big influence on me was, quote, to do the same. So before I got to the point of tenure, I left Loyola Marymount, became a consultant, became a partner with Marshall, and we were first doing leadership development and training. And we did that for a couple of decades. But he also, as we all know, invented probably the most profound method of coaching to help successful leaders get better. And I got involved in that. So my whole career path changed because of Marshall. And I'm forever indebted to him for that.
The opportunity to collaborate on How Women Rise was also life-changing for me in many different ways. The book has been hugely successful. Of course, 25 languages. Are you kidding? It also, though, I learned from working with him how to get comfortable with self-marketing, which I had never been comfortable with before. He pushed me into it, and it was a great gift. It was especially a gift because in doing so many programs on How Women Rise, I have been able to help women all around the world get more at ease and more skillful promoting their own work. So the ripple effect has been huge.
And shortly after, he did teach a class on personal identity, which I had the opportunity to take with him and get to know him more with a few other students. The topic was very much aligned with the book he was writing at that time that we now know as Triggers. And I did receive some informal coaching, which has really helped me as then a student and now as a professional. I stayed in contact with Marshall over the years. We had some wonderful walks in Rancho Santa Fe.
And I just wanted to say there are many things that I am grateful for in this holiday season. And one of them is you, my friend.
His greatest impact on me has been his idea or his phrase about be competent and be known as competent. And I think about that almost every single day of how am I growing? How am I learning? How am I developing? And then how am I giving that out like Marshall does? How do I continue to be generous? And that helps me then to be known as competent so I can do more, just like Marshall's doing, making things a little bit better.
He taught me to let things go. He taught me that you can't coach people who don't want to be coached, and so much more. So Marshall was my main inspiration for becoming an executive coach. His book Triggers helped me lose 37 pounds a few years ago. His book Mojo helped me to get my mojo back. The Earned Life taught me how to live a more earned life. And his most recent book with Scott Osmond and Jacqueline Lane on becoming coachable is a great resource both for myself and for my clients.
It was one of the great lessons, one of many that you've taught me over the years, but it changed my perspective. I always was looking to, be the best speaker or sell the most books or whatever, and not really paying much attention to people around me. And that moment, I reflected on that and have time and time again and thought, That's one of the great lessons that my friend Marshall Goldsmith has taught me. You've also taught me how to be an executive coach. You've taught me how to be more generous. And you've created for me a wonderful community in the 100 Coaches. Some of my dearest friends come from the 100 Coaches. And none of that would have happened had you and I not met.
And anyone that knows Marshall knows that he brings out the best in others. So that was really a privilege. And I can say Marshall is a dear friend. He's an honorary father and an inspiration. Thank you, Marshall. My life is better because I know you.
Thank you for being a role model for me, for Vivian, for our children, and for many people around the world. On this special holiday season, we would like to say Happy Thanksgiving to you, to Lida, and to everybody in your network.
So I just want to thank Marshall for all he's done. I'm even wearing a green shirt today as a tribute to Marshall. So in the spirit of Thanksgiving, I would talk about my 4 G's of leadership, which are be genuine, be generous, be gracious, and be grateful. And Marshall is all 4 of those things.
And being part of this community that you created out of the generosity of your own spirit and character has, again, had profound impact on me. It's made me a better coach. I learn every day from some of the most talented and amazing people in the world. They make me better. They challenge me. And that's all because of you. And I'm a better father, a better spouse, a better partner, and a better parent, all because of what you've created. And again, I want to thank you for that. I want to thank you for that impact of my life. And I love this community and I appreciate what you've done. And I just want to thank you and I'll let you know that I'm thankful for you.
Every Thanksgiving Day, I think of Marshall because of his wonderful tradition, which he's had since I met him, of spending the day writing to people and telling them how grateful he is that they are in his life. So today, Marshall, I am very grateful to have had you in my life. Happy Thanksgiving.
So at this Thanksgiving time, I want to say thank you to Marshall for helping to have such an influence on my life and on my career. So thank you, Marshall. Have a great Thanksgiving to you, Lida, and your family.
So Marshall, this Thanksgiving, I just want to thank you for coaching me on gratitude, to do my best, to love those that are close to me, and then just to rest well knowing that I did all I could do. So happy Thanksgiving, and thank you for everything.
Marshall, just don't change. No matter what life throws you, be the same person I met way back when at UCLA, 50 plus years ago, and keep doing what you do, which is providing wisdom to all of us, a good time for all of us, and just spread that to everyone you can meet. And especially, I wish you and your whole family, who I know all of them very well, and love the family dearly. Have a great holiday season.
I am grateful for you, my friend. And in this time of Thanksgiving, let me say again and again, thank you, Marshall. Thank you, Marshall. I love you, Marshall. I hope you have a great Thanksgiving. Cheers, my friend.
Hey, Marshall, I would like to say thank you for the opportunity meeting you last year. And Thanksgiving is coming. I wish you a happy, warm Thanksgiving with friends and family.